When we're solving equations, sometimes weird things can happen. Watch in these two examples as something strange happens as we go about solving it. So we'd start the same way we'd always start, by distributing to get rid of our parentheses. So I'm left with 8x and then minus 20 equals 8x minus 20. And so even right away we see that this is an unusual problem, because notice both sides of this equation are exactly the same. Well, if we kind of just continue with what we'd normally do, I could add 20 to both sides. The 20s would then drop out, and so all that's left is 8x equal to 8x. If I try to bring the x's to the same side by subtracting, to combine like terms on both sides, everything drops out. I end up with 0 equal to 0. Anytime your variables drop out, that's the specific thing I'm talking about when something weird happens. Everything in this case, though, is dropped out, not just the variables. So what's left then is just this statement that 0 equals 0. Well, you have to ask yourself, is that true or false? And of course that's true. 0 does equal 0. So what that means, if you ever get this, is that you don't just have one answer, you have an infinite number of answers. Anything would work as a solution. No matter what number you plug in for x, you're going to get this true solution. So x could be anything in this case. So if you end up with a true statement, that's what that means. You have infinite solutions. Compared to the second example, and to see what happens. So once again, let's start with distributing on both sides to remove those parentheses. So I'm left with negative 12 and then plus 6x. Be careful, remember, distribute that negative sign with the 3. So negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. And then equal to 6x and then plus 2. And so once again, you're probably noticing what's unusual is you have the same x on both sides, not everything the same, but the same x's on both sides. So what will happen is then those will just cancel out if I try to bring them together. Since they're the same thing on both sides, they'll just cancel each other out. And so again, that's the weird part that's happening. Your variable just cancels out. Your variable's gone. And so what's left is another statement, negative 12 equals 2. Well, once again, you have to ask yourself, is that true or false? And of course, that's false. Negative 12 does not equal negative 2. A false statement means, again, you don't have an answer. You don't have infinite answers either. It actually means you have no answers. A false statement means there is no solution to this problem. No matter what you plug in for x, you'll never get the same thing on both sides. There's no solutions.